Everyone has a story. We all have a story, and I love a story. My story? It's a pretty simple one in that I've been a Delta Airlines flight attendant for 27 and a half years. And I feel so lucky to have chosen a career in the transportation industry, transporting people from point A to point B safely and securely. But honestly, it's so much more than transportation. I connect people to their destinations, and I have the opportunity to connect with people on their way to those destinations. So I like to believe I'm in the people business, connecting people and their stories and taking them all over the world. And I cannot help but think about all the customers, the millions of customers that I have encountered throughout my career. It's unbelievable when you think about it. And I still get excited 27 years later when I'm at the airport for my trip and I see all these customers, all these people just whisk by me, going from gate to gate. And I look at them and wonder, where are they going and why? And then I get to my plane and I stand at that boarding door, all smiles. Hello, welcome aboard, how are you? And I look at every single customer and I'm curious, why are they on my plane? Why are they going to the city we're going to today? What's their story? Because it truly is amazing if you think about it, what we all do at this airline. Every year, we take 185 million customers all over the world, 6 continents, 57 countries, 328 destinations on 15,000 daily flights. And every single customer has a story, and I get to be a part of that. And for so many, it's a great story. They're on my airplane because they're going somewhere to celebrate a special birthday. It's the 10, 20, 25, or the 50th wedding anniversary trip to Hawaii. It's a destination wedding, and the bride comes on with a dress that's this big, and we're going to put it in our closet that's this big, but we're going to take great care of it because it was her grandmother's. It's the father-son fishing trip to Alaska. It's a mother-daughter girls trip, first time to New York City, and they're going to see Wicked on Broadway. It's the thousands of business women and men we've taken to some city for some meeting in the hopes of signing a really big deal that would profoundly change their career and their lives. It's the grandmother and grandpa who are on my flight going to meet their very first grandchild or their 14th. And they're just as excited for the 14th as they were for the first. And they love showing you the pictures, all 427 of them. It's the summer vacations that the families have saved up all year to go on, from Atlanta to Orlando, and they're going to Disney World, and they get on that airplane and they're taking pictures and selfies, and they ask you to go in the picture with them, because to them, the airplane is just as exciting as Cinderella's castle will be. It's my favorite part of the job. They share their stories, and I get to share in their joy and their excitement. And then the flight's over, and I'm almost sad to see them go. We've landed, we've reached a destination, they are excited to go. I stand there again at the boarding door, goodbye, have so much fun, thank you for flying with us, have a great time. And they exit the airplane up the jetway and they're gone, and their story continues. And I just smile, happy to have been a part of their journey. And I'll think of them, and I'll wonder, did they catch any fish? How was that special birthday? Are the bride and groom still married? I'll think of grandma and grandpa. Are they enjoying those 14 grandchildren and maybe even more? It's a great gig. I love my job. It could be a 45-minute flight from Atlanta to Birmingham, Alabama, 4 hours across the country or 14 hours across an ocean. Customers, people sharing their stories, and I get to show some kindness along the way to make it even more special for them. It makes my heart happy. But here's the kicker, the 360 of it, if you will. Everyone does have a story. And for as many of those stories over the years that have made my heart happy, there have been just as many that have made my heart break. I have to remind myself that on every single airplane, on every trip that I'm on, in at least one passenger seat, there'll be someone that is the last place that they want to be, because their story isn't a good one. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind, always. You see, these customers don't get on board the airplane all excited, ready to share their story, taking pictures. Not these customers. They come on board with heavy hearts that you can see in their slow walk, their tired and teary eyes, their slumping shoulders, or the deafening silence and blatant ignoring of you when you are warmly saying, "Hello, welcome aboard, how are you today?" And you get nothing from them. But after 27 years, you learn to see the signs. Or it's in the air at 35,000 feet, and you're doing your service and you're on the beverage cart, and you notice the customer sitting at the window seat with their head tilted against the fuselage wall, and they are staring intently outside the window and quietly crying. Or you're in your back alley cleaning up, preparing for another service, or in your front galley, and they come back there in the front or wherever it is, and they stand there almost frozen in thought. And you are keenly aware that their story isn't a good one. And so you ask, and they share. And now your heart is hurting as much as theirs. Because these are the customers that are on my flight because they're going to say goodbye to someone, their mother, their father, a family member. They're visiting someone who is suffering from an illness or going to see someone who's been in a terrible car accident. It's the young wife saying goodbye to her military husband who's being deployed to some far-off place, and she's holding their crying infant. Or the gentleman who is going to see doctor number 3 in the hopes that that doctor's news was better than doctor number 1 or number 2. And you can only hope in those moments and those flights to be aware of these people and to show care and kindness in whatever way you can. Holding the crying child, an unaccompanied minor who's on your flight, heading for the summer to see the other parent, and they're crying because they just said goodbye to the other parent. The marriage didn't work out. Finding kindness in a cup of water, some extra snacks. Looking through the luggage, just looking for one blanket that you can roll up and make into a pillow to give to that customer without saying a word at that window seat in the hopes that they can just maybe shut their eyes and fall asleep for a little bit. Kindness in a conversation that starts with, "Are you okay? Is there anything I can do for you?" It's moments you have with people. And then that flight's over. And I'll tell you, it is a lot harder to say goodbye to those customers. You stand again at that boarding door, and with a lump in your throat and a softer tone, you say goodbye. Good luck to you. I hope everything will be okay. And then they're gone, and you never see them again. But their story and your interaction with them is seared in your brain. And you catch yourself on the next flight, on your layover, in the car on the way home, days, weeks, and even 27 years later. I think about those customers, never knowing how their story ended, how their story continued, or maybe there was a new beginning and a new chapter for them in their story. Only just hoping in those moments on those flights that you were able to help in some way. And I'll tell you, this career, this job I have that I feel so grateful for, it has taught me through these experiences to look at our world differently, to look at people differently. They come on board my airplane, they're strangers, who are customers, who are really just people. I try to look at people differently, to engage more, to connect more, to listen, to care. I try every day to show more care and to show kindness, and maybe it's in the simplest of ways. Or maybe there's times I need to recognize when maybe more care and kindness is needed. So I would challenge you, 9 days into this new year, 2018, to think about your world, to think about the world around us and the people in it, the opportunities you have to show how you care for others. Because to me, it's simple. And perhaps it's the most valuable lesson I have learned in my 27 and a half years as a flight attendant and also my 49 years as a person. Be kind, always. In the air, at 35,000 feet, on the ground, in our communities with neighbors, with our family, our friends, and with our coworkers, with each other. Because everyone has a story.